Hello? You want me to host Magento Imagine this year? Okay. Hosting Imagine, can I even do that? I've never even climbed a mountain before. But I do live full-time at the Wynn. What do I do that would make me a good host? I do a lot of things. Like, I'm a hair provocateur. Nah. Oh yeah, developer. You know what? Put that over there. Refactor that. Boom. Magento blockchain. Podcaster.
You're live on Nate Shot. How you doing today?
We are very concerned about Phil's hosting experience.
Dude, I'm literally hosting this right now.
Is that really the same though?
Magento evangelist.
Tell you about Magento. Have you heard the good news? The one true e-commerce platform.
Crooner.
Lights go down on Magento.
Oh gosh, I don't know. Can I do this? Can I really do this?
Philip, get all over yourself, man. You're a 3-time Magento master, you're 5X certified at Magento, and you have 100,000 people that listen to you every month. You are the Magento community, and you're my friend. Now get in that box.
Jackson. Please welcome your 2018 Imagine MC and host, Philip Jackson.
How y'all doing tonight? Welcome to Magento Imagine. This is the biggest show in commerce. Are you guys ready for this week? Are you ready? I hope you're ready. This is the show that defines our year. This is the show that you will walk away from with a whole year's worth of content and material, with technology and tips for you to help lead the charge in your business. So I hope you're ready. These 3 days are going to be packed. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot to do in the space of this year. No, a lot's changed in the last year since we last met here at the Wynn in Las Vegas. In fact, a lot has changed in Las Vegas in the last year. Yeah, for instance, the NFL awarded the Raiders here to come here in 2020 to Las Vegas. Football, anybody? Nobody? Not a single person? And you know what? Las Vegas, you know what Las Vegas needs? Is a hockey team in the middle of the desert. That's what we need, is a hockey team. They're going to the playoffs. That's pretty cool, right? And of course, I'm sure you all, we would be remiss if we didn't point out the biggest change in Las Vegas in the last year. Cannabis is legal now. Cannabis, anybody cannabis? That one guy. Everybody knows that one guy. We could have used cannabis last year, right? When we talked about the future of commerce, man. Future of commerce. Whew. Did I mention Baked by Melissa is here? Baked by Melissa, anybody? Cannabis? Baked by Melissa? No. Tomorrow morning, Baked by Melissa is here joining us. A lot of change, yeah, that one guy. That's good. That's good, man. So lots of changes. Big change in 2017, net neutrality. Anyone tracking net neutrality in your business? It's a big deal. Unsurprisingly, the Swiss Magento community has decided to be neutral on the topic. Neutral on net neutrality. You know, that's kind of a big thing. You know, the Swiss Magento community, they call themselves Swiss Gento. Real creative naming there. In fact, we do that a lot in our communities, right? Magento, we like to identify with this very successful e-commerce platform. So you get a lot of Magento-based names. You know, there's Wagento. I wonder what they do, those guys. Wagento. Mage Mail. We have Mage Mojo, right? Mage Mojo. It's hard to name your Magento-based business, so I created an app for you. This is a real thing. MageName.me. If you need some help naming your Magento-based business, I'm here for you. Some choice names that we got, these are real, from this actual real app that you could really go to right now for real. Is Shortcake Gento, anyone? Self-incrimination Gento, right? Mage Estimate, self-incrimination Gento. You know, if you happen to be the commander-in-chief of a very large first world nation, self-incrimination Gento might be for you. Mage Simplify. Does anyone need their mages simplified a little bit? And finally, my favorite and yours, Mage Blaze. Did I mention Baked by Melissa is in the house tomorrow morning? Blaze, faked by nobody. It's been an amazing year. This has been the biggest change in commerce over the last year. This has been the biggest number of changes in my life and my career in the last year. My road to Imagine has so many amazing stories, and it's only been a year. And it makes me think that Imagine is sort of like an anniversary for me every year to remind me of who I am and who I've become. And that Imagine isn't just about being about the best of us. Imagine we come here every year and it brings all of who we are to bear, the good and the bad, the best practices and the worst practices. And you know, you sometimes have that internal monologue, that voice inside your head that says that you're not up to the task, that this stuff is too hard, that commerce changes too fast, that things are moving too far and too fast and it's hard to keep up. You know, Imagine, I felt like, for me, was the beginning of what started me off in a career that has taken me beyond my wildest dreams to be standing here on the stage in this room with you. Imagine is this anniversary that represents what is the very best of us. It's where I found my home. It's where I found my identity in this community. Every year, I get to remember all these amazing milestones in my life. And I only started Magento development, you know, not so long ago, 10 years ago. And, you know, it's incredible that in 2011, just a few years ago, I first became Magento certified at Innovate in San Francisco. And that was where I said to myself, maybe I could do this Magento thing professionally. So I decided I was going to attend my first Imagine. That was in 2013. And in 2013, I got to meet my commerce heroes. Ben Marks and Kimberly Thomas, and people that I had met through Twitter that I felt like I already knew who were inspiring me to take that next step. You know, in 2014, I got to meet more of those people like Marius Strajaru, and in 2015, I delivered a crane kick that was so powerful that 3 years later, it knocked the existing Master of Ceremonies out of his position and put me on the stage. You know, in 2016, I was awarded as a Magento Master for the very first time, and in 2017, I spent 30 hours in a podcast booth talking passionately about this community that we're celebrating here today. And that brings us to this year. This year, I am your Master of Ceremonies. And I am pumped. So, Imagine is the very best of us. And I want you to experience what I've experienced through Magento. This is your time to share your stories. Don't be in a hurry this week. Set time aside. Turn off the email, turn off the phone. It's all going to be there when you turn it back on. What is one thing that you can identify this week that you can take back to your team, that you can take back to your business to help you lead the charge in your industry? Learn this week. Experience this week. I promise you, you will not leave here the same this week. Because if you're anything like me, Magento will take you farther than you ever thought you'd go. Are you guys ready? Are you ready? All right, join me in welcoming to the stage CEO of Magento Commerce, Mr. Mark Lavelle.
Please welcome Chief Executive Officer Mark Lavelle.
Hello, everybody. How about that? How about our very own Philip Jackson? Wasn't that fantastic? What an inspiring story. That's a homegrown Magento story right there. Very proud of him. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the 8th Imagine Conference. And as we like to do here, as a ritual, raise your hand if you are a first-time Imagine participant. Wow. Oh my gosh, look at that. You guys are in for a real treat. Imagine's a very special event on everybody's calendar. The folks around you that did not raise their hands, they're itching for me to ask if you've been here 8 times. I am not, because I can't go through 7, 8, 6. I don't have that time. But it becomes a ritual. It's a real gathering, and we're really pleased to have you here. And I'm super inspired by the theme we've had this year, Lead the Charge. And we work really hard to make sure that the next couple of days is just a great attendee experience. And hundreds of people work on content and stories and experiences to motivate you, educate you, so that you go back and you really leave here fired up for the year ahead. So take advantage of every minute. Enjoy it. As Philip said, it's an important time to be together. You know, there's an old saying that may you live in interesting times. And I've learned that it's used ironically, interesting meaning times of change and anxiety and strife, even danger. And indeed, I think we'd all agree we live in some interesting times. And whether it's geopolitics, technological disruption, businesses being disrupted, you know, this is anxiety-ridden times. It feels like it's upon us all the time. But change can also bring a lot of opportunity. Change can also do a lot of good in people's lives. And throughout history, you know, leaders have emerged that have come to the moment that we needed them. Leaders have come because we need leaders to lead. You know, that's why we picked our theme to really focus at this Imagine on the importance of leadership in today's world. When you think about leaders, you tend to think about, you know, people that have a, you know, for better or for worse, an outsized impact on our lives. Presidents and prime ministers and politicians. But, you know, you also could think about technology really having an impact on our lives. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Jack Ma, and Mark Zuckerberg. They're certainly having an impact. There's also leadership that have really defined social movements throughout the centuries. People like Dr. King, Gandhi, Malala, and Mother Teresa. And for sure, these leaders have outsized impact on how millions of people ultimately live their lives. We're not here just to focus on that type of leadership. Technology and globalization are giving rise to leadership opportunities for everyone. You don't have to be an Elon Musk to be a leader. Think of the social movements where acts of a courageous few have driven important societal changes. Or think of closer to home. Opportunities emerge all the time that allow people to step up and be a hero and be a leader. The point is, no matter what the change, no matter what is happening, what impact it's having, what really is important in creating permanent, lasting change is us. Human beings. Individuals. Leadership matters. And it applies to the roles that we have in our communities and our businesses. Now, each of you are here because you guys are leaders in your field. You all are driving an impact, a digital transformation for or on behalf of thousands and thousands of businesses across the world. And at this Imagine, this is about reconnecting you with your passion, energizing you to be leaders and to continue to drive transformation all across the world. Over the next few days, you're going to hear amazing stories from successful leaders across the Magento ecosystem. Our clients, our partners, developers tell stories of overcoming challenges of all types and driving incredible transformations in their organizations. So, we're very, very proud of the diversity of leadership we have at Magento. If you're sitting there thinking, Mark, why is Mark talking about leadership? I'm here for something else. I can't be a leader of that impact or on that scale. Let me tell you, there's all types of leadership, and it takes all kinds of leadership to drive lasting change. We all lead in different ways. Some people are driven by rapid business transformation. Get it done. Move fast. They're drawn to business transformation style leadership, rallying the troops, leading the charge. You're going to hear in a minute from Peter Sinclair, Universal Music Group. He's going to talk about the charge he's leading to literally change the way artists monetize their art and how they connect with their fans. There's other types of leaders who want to explore all the possibilities, follow every thread, pull on the strings, see what comes of it, be on the cutting edge. I think about our Josh Moore from Creativity, who gave us the community instant checkout the very instant that the Amazon patent expired. Some people want to lead by connecting people. They want to lead through inclusion and bringing people together. And here I think about Rebecca Brockton, who rallied the Magento community on the very important topic of mental health in developer communities, and hooked Magento up with this really amazing organization called Open Sourcing Mental Illness. Finally, there are people that lead that want to protect those things that are important to us in times of change, the hard-fought learnings, the things that are dear, and make sure that change doesn't throw all that away. You know, think of Alan Storm, whose work makes sure that the next generation of Magento developers is as effective and as efficient as the first generation was. Or how about our very own Karen Baker, who works to make sure that any CEO of Magento never feels too comfortable in his job. No matter what type of leader you are, the point is, all types matter. It takes people of different styles, different skills, different backgrounds to come together to make change happen. And when those come together in a community, really powerful things can happen. I'd like to share with you a little bit about my personal leadership journey. I've studied leadership all my career. I've liked to read about presidents and founding fathers and business icons through biographies, learning how they've overcome challenges and done just the amazing things that they've done. I've picked up the occasional business book every now and then. One of my favorites is a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Anybody have read that one? Very powerful book by Dr. Stephen Covey, who, by the way, is a long-term Magento client. So go check that out. But actually, the most inspiring thing I've learned about leadership actually didn't come from, I don't think it's even a business book. I picked up a book called The Road Less Traveled by M. Scott Peck. And just on the first page, literally the first 2 paragraphs of that book, he wrote, "Life is difficult." And he called this statement a great truth. And it's a great truth because once you understand, really, really understand that life is difficult, it no longer matters that it is. Because once that's accepted, it doesn't get in your way of doing what you want to do. I've tried to apply that to leadership in my career. Once you accept that leadership is difficult, once you really understand it, you expect it when it happens, you overcome it, and you transcend it. This certainly applied for us when we were spinning out Magento, for instance. You know, we had a lot of things to overcome. How do you sync up a commercial business with a global open source community? How do you stay really true to your open source ethos while you try to pay the bills? These were big, big challenges, big questions that we had to overcome. And in a community like ours, how do you reconcile so many different views, so many different agendas, so many needs, so many desires? You know? over different time zones, different languages, and different cultures. Huge challenge. These were a lot of the challenges that we faced as we tried to think about taking Magento through this next phase. You know, I tried early on to travel a lot. I traveled a lot of places, did a lot of speaking, did a lot of talks. I tried blogging. I did a lot of blogging. I did tweeting. I did a lot of meetings. I did some meetings about tweetings. I even tweeted about some meetings. I realized unless I was going to become like our great evangelist Ben Marks, which I don't think I could become, I was going to have to find my own personal style of how I was going to lead. And what I believe is communities and businesses that endure over time have a common vision, a common sense of values. I knew first and foremost that what we needed to do was to deliver to our partners and to our clients the world's best products and technology available. Job one. I also knew we needed to build the capability to support those clients on our platform so that they could get the most out of Magento each and every time. And we really needed to build the capability to compete aggressively across the world, to make the Magento brand in all corners of the world be present and competitive. But you know, that wasn't all we needed to do. We needed to instill this idea of purpose and vision. Magento is certainly strong today. But Magento, in whatever form it finds itself in the future, needs to have the strength to strive for the decade and beyond. And it's not just as a commerce platform. Magento as a community needs to always exist. As a movement, as a collection of individuals who decide to work together in an open, collaborative way. That's what inspired me and motivated me. That's the challenge I was drawn to. So, I want to share with you how we went about that. In 2017, we started a process that allowed us to think of ways that we could have a shared vision, a mission that drew people together for action, and we defined a culture of behaviors and ethos that really binds people together. We started in 2017 with a process that was very inclusive, all of our employees. We went out to a lot of you, many of you here assembled, and many of you out there in the marketplace, listening, asked you what you felt, assembled all that information, and I'm very, very proud to take a few minutes to walk you through the results of this. This is our vision. We envision a world of commerce without limits. A world where technology is open to everyone, always available, and powered by human ingenuity. And this is our mission. In a rapidly evolving digital world, Magento Commerce builds software that allows people and businesses to achieve their dreams. Our open source solutions inspire contribution, collaboration, and community, which drive innovation and growth at unprecedented scale. Together with our merchants, our partners, our developers, we create meaningful customer experiences and empower brands to realize their potential and thrive on the last platform they will ever need. I love each and every one of those words. They're personally very inspiring to me. We got a lot of great feedback on them. When you guys leave this keynote, this general session, you'll get a handout that includes, that gives you those mission, vision on the page. It will also include values that we created. We call them our cornerstones. The first one is be an owner. This is about taking full accountability and responsibility for results, not just of your own job, but of your partner, of your teammate, of your client, owning the whole thing end to end. The second is be agile. Anticipate change. Drive change yourself and make speed our advantage. Third, the community, a very uniquely Magento value. This is about active participation, about contributing, giving back, helping, and valuing this incredible ecosystem of ours. Be innovative. Always raise the bar. Always find ways to make it easier for our partners, developers, and clients to succeed. And lastly, be a team. Be proactive as a team. This is about fostering an environment of respect, fairness, diversity, and inclusion at all times. These cornerstones define who we are, and I think they define who we're not as well. We try to live by these behaviors every day. You'll have these also as you leave, and I hope that they help you and your businesses and your colleagues lead the charge and inspire you as much as they've inspired us. So it's been a great privilege of mine to be a part of leading Magento to where it is today. It's my dream that in 10 years, there's a Magento community that is stronger, larger, just as creative, even more inclusive, and making the world better through commerce. Okay, I shared my personal story with you. Now I'd like something for you to do for me. So, put the cell phone